Hello, my fellow artists. On popular demand, I've decided to sketch this adorable baby tiger who's so tiny he fits into a human hand. I start by erasing the graphite pencil outlines because if you remember, charcoal and graphite do not mix. You can't use charcoal on top of graphite. Next, I start with the eyes of the tiger. Different artists have different preferences when it comes to this. Some start with the darkest parts of the entire sketch and then slowly move on to the lighter parts. Other sketch artists like to go section by section. I fall somewhere in the middle. I divide the sketch into large sections, like in this case, you can see the entire head of the baby tiger is one section. And then within that section, I start with the darkest parts first. You may be wondering why I do this, especially as filling in the dark parts first may mean it will get smudged. I avoid this problem by using that glossy paper you're seeing. I keep it under my palm. And for me, it's a simple matter of outlining. I don't want to lose my dimensions that have already been sketched on the paper. Charcoal sketches are very time consuming, and nothing is worse than realizing once you're already well into the sketch that you sketched the nose too small or too big or something. So at this point, you're just seeing me highlight the dark parts, the outlines, just the very darkest portions of the baby tiger's head, leaving the lighter hairs or the shading for later. Alright, now watch the directionality and size of the hairs that I'm sketching. This is why I love sketching animals. Even though it's kind of time consuming to sketch every single hair on the animal, it also means that if you're careful about the size and direction of every hair that you're sketching, you are pretty much guaranteed accuracy. If you compare this to human faces, for example, where hair is usually sparse or not at all, you have to shade into the skin, and that shading, the depth, getting the depth of the shading right is harder than getting hair right, in my opinion. Next, you see me using the blending stump to outline the lines that just aren't dark enough to use a charcoal pencil on. These are usually parts of the human body, like the fingers, the hand holding the tiger, or the tiger where it doesn't have enough hair, like the ends of its paws. I know some artists who use the brush and loose charcoal powder directly for this, but I'm still amateur enough to need an outline to know exactly where my lines are. I'm also using the blending stump to go over my charcoal pencil outlines from the tiger's head. If you remember, I had mentioned that charcoal is soft and made up of tiny particles, so in order to avoid it getting smudged, you need to go over every portion you use the pencil on with a brush or a blending stump if the lines are too sharp, like they are in this case. Once again, pay close attention to the directionality of the hairs. Since this is a baby tiger, his hairs aren't just all in one direction, but they're also very short, especially the ones on its forehead and nose and the ends of its paws, where they're almost patches and not hair at all. The directionality of your hairs decides the depth and direction of the sketch. So watch closely how the direction of the hairs decides that the paw is pointed downwards, or that the elbow, the tiger's elbow, is not just sideways but coming up from below, that kind of thing. Once again, you see me going over the pencil hairs with a blending stump to kind of fix the charcoal into the paper. Alright, we're halfway through this tiger sketch. You might think it looks kind of done, but just wait until we do the shading. In the next video, we'll be adding the shading parts using loose charcoal powder and soft brushes. And of course, adding depth to the hair, which is going to involve going over it several times alternately with the charcoal pencil and a mechanical eraser. Charcoal sketches are time-consuming processes, but the end result is so satisfying, it's completely worth it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And comment if you want to. It motivates me to make more art.